Hello, welcome back to another segment in excerpts from a spiritual ascension. Today, I wanted to talk about having a sense of lack or an energy of lack, meaning, so if you know tarot, the tarot cards, there is a card called the Five of Pentacles. Um, there are two people that are outside of some kind of building, a church or something like that, and they're they're not doing well physically. They look like they're hungry. They don't have anything. Okay. Inside kind of is a light shining within the church or building or some kind of community that you know something's going on within that. And it's kind of like they're looking at that building as they're missing out on something, that they're lacking something, whether it be, that there's food inside or there's some kind of subsistence or community people around that maybe they don't have. Okay. Also, it is the number five, and fives talk about change. So just knowing that as you go through your ascension process, there's going to be many instances where you feel a sense of lack. And there's going to be a lot of things that are taken away from you. Understand in some of my other videos, I talked about having to leave family or family leaving you, leaving your community, possibly leaving the place where you grew up, the state, um, country, wherever it may be that you're directed to go. So there's this feeling of maybe even lack of community. It could even come down to not having the provisions that you need to sustain yourself on a daily basis. For myself, I was in desperate need at times during my 5-year journey of not having enough food. I never understood that because I had a well-paying job. I worked on Wall Street, I had everything I needed at that time, too much, actually. The thing is, these things are taken away from you so that you can understand um, and have that direct connection with the divine, with spirit, so that you're during that pro during your journey, you're learning to lean on spirit for all your needs. So going from having abundance of overabundance of things that I had to now going to not having anything. Okay. Long story, but um, all that information will be coming out to you shortly. There was a time where I think I had counted out change and I had enough for like a donut in the morning, and that was all I had to eat that day. And like that had never been heard of in my lifetime. I had never had food insecurity. And from just knowing that, again, fives mean change. So you're not in that situation for a long period of time. Your situation will change. Okay. But it's kind of like you learning to lean on the universe, to have faith that you will get through whatever it is that you're going through for that short period of time, and that you'll be taking out of that situation. Okay. So it's kind of hard in the beginning when you're not used to not having, but then understanding as you move along your journey that this is only temporary and that I will be provided with so much more later on. What I have now is different than what I had originally. I had an overabundance of just stuff, meaningless stuff. Um, and now I have things that have meaning to me, and I lack of nothing. The universe provides to me everything that I need. I'm not lacking in food, as you can see now. um, I'm not lacking. I have a beautiful home now. I have a good job. Um, I'm able to just do my work and talking to you and just having a more meaningful life. I didn't have a meaningful life before. My life was made of showing other people what I had. And I have no need to do that because it's more coming from within. And um, you're also going through a death of the ego, and the ego is all about having that need to have an overabundance to show others what you have, right? Who am I? What am I? I remember being in New York and just networking in circles. And the questions people always would say is, who are you? Who do you know? Who do you work for? Um, Things like that. And if you didn't meet any of those required, or where did you go to school, college? If you didn't meet those top requirements, people would really turn their back on you. And like that no longer matters. You don't lack in any way by other people's standards. Okay. Hopefully you understand that. But just letting go of that energy of lack, um, whatever circumstance you're in while you're in your journey, on your journey, know that you're going to be blessed tenfold when you come out of it. It's going to be look different than it was when you went in because the things that meant to something to you before probably will no longer mean the same things. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. If you would like to talk to me about your own journey or my journey or any questions about spiritual stuff, there's a link below to book time with me. I've also done several courses on the spiritual ascension process, and that link is also below. And please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.